Indian River Connections brings you the first source you can watch for truth on board decisions in Indian River County. The Board Report, where taxpayers and policymakers intersect. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform to get notified when we go live on Fridays at 7 p.m. Visit IndianRiverConnections.com for more.
Welcome back to the Board Report. Hey, Thomas.
How are you?
Doing good.
Good. Did you watch any World Cup today?
No, I did not.
The USA advanced to the knockout stages, possibly winning their group by the end of the night. So that's, pretty exciting for all the World Cup fans. Okay.
Yeah.
And you look really jazzed by that, so I'll stop talking about it.
I don't think it's a girl's subject.
You mean to tell me every time I come on here with you, I have to have a girl's subject?
Well, or a subject that's mutually exciting.
The World Cup is the best sporting event, global sporting event ever. I bet you Karapi agrees, other than maybe the Stanley Cup.
Well, he probably does. He loves to play hockey. He's a big hockey fan.
I would consider the Stanley Cup a global event only because players come from all over the world to play in the NHL, but there's nothing like a World Cup. Nothing like it. If you ever get to go to a World Cup game, it doesn't matter when you go. You can go to the first one, you can go to the last one. It's amazing.
I bet it is. I just would like to go even if I didn't know what was going on, because there's a bunch of people there screaming and cheering, and I just go along with the crowd to have a good time.
That's exactly what you do. It's exactly what you do. And it's wild. I've never seen fandom quite like it. Anyway, so we've got Tessa Toman from TPUSA Faith and a bunch of other things she's doing.
Yeah, Club America, TPUS Faith. I mean, she's
a campaign manager, and she's all but 18? Did she just turn 18? Maybe. I don't know.
I think she's still
we'll
17.
Still 17.
We'll have to ask her. I didn't ask her age last time I talked to her, but I know she's still in high school.
But there's a lot going on the Treasure Coast in regards to Turning Point USA, and it's just great to have her and hear from her. So we're going to do that. Let's
take a break and get to the commercials, and then we'll get back to Tessa Toman.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Pippin, and I'm running for Indian River County Commission District 2. As a wife, mother, and longtime community advocate, I've spent years standing up for taxpayers, families, and government accountability. I'm running to protect our quality of life, support law enforcement, manage growth responsibly, and ensure your tax dollars are spent wisely. To learn more, request a yard sign, volunteer, or get involved, visit votejenniferpippin.com. Together, we can keep Indian River County the best place to live, work, and raise a family. I'm looking forward to earning your vote on August 18th.
Welcome to Filthies. Every Wednesday from 7 to 10 p.m., join us to jam out to Dave Scott. And every second Thursday of every month, join us with Conspiracy Club from 6 to 8 p.m. Come on down to Filthies, jam out, and join the Conspiracy Club every second Thursday.
Gotta move on. No. Who did that song? Gotta move on. Well, they talk about... Anyway, same beat, same key. I doubt Tessa knows that was before her time. Her parents would know, though.
Yeah, they would. But it's a great day to go to the Filthies. We have a good time when we go there for the Conspiracy Club, and it's a great time for everybody to come out and make new friends. Share their conspiracies and talk about things that other people just don't talk about.
Yes, very true. Have they talked about the release of these extraterrestrial tapes that I'm not really following it, so I wouldn't know. But are you doing conversations like that? Is that what's going on with
Yeah,
it?
they do conversations about stuff like that and the earth being flat and,
The
is
Earth
there.
being flat. Well, in Florida, it is.
We live on a sandbar.
Pretty much. Pretty much. We haven't
Yeah.
sunk yet.
No, but shake us enough and the sand will go away.
Really.
We just might fall into the ocean one day.
We better bring in Tessa to get serious.
Yeah, we better bring her right on in. Come on in, Tessa.
Hi,
Hi,
Tessa.
thank you for having me.
How is it going with you these days?
It's going wonderful. I'm busy, but all amazing things. I'm super, super blessed.
Okay, so fill us in. You just became the director of TPUSA Faith on the Treasure Coast.
Yes, I'm
How did
I'm
that
the
happen?
lead. How did that happen?
Yes.
Well, it was just Dr. Brenda McMenamin, she's so wonderful, and we were just talking, and I'm looking forward to transitioning, hopefully into Turning Point Faith. Like at the time I was like, oh, hopefully Turning Point Faith I can go in full time, and be able to continue my connections there, help get people civically engaged with the church, wake up the church, all of those amazing things. And I just was already very connected to other similar faith-based organizations that have the same mission of getting the church involved and Christians civically active so that we can, win seats, change the culture, restore America back to its biblical foundation. And so the more we spoke, the more different opportunities she got on her end. And she was like, do you just want to take it over? And you can just be the lead for the Treasure Coast? And I was like, I would love that, actually. And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to serve one more term as president for Club America for the Treasure Coast. Hopefully, get some new leadership in there. And then I'll be full-time faith, hopefully, from here on out after next year.
And the Club America is for the high schoolers on the Treasure
Yes.
Coast, and you sort of have like a paramilitary version of it. Is that the way you would describe it? Where you're
I
not like on
mean,
a campus.
All right.
You're not on a high school campus, but
no,
you actually have homeschoolers and private schoolers and all
it's
sorts of people.
hybrid.
It's a
We
big
get
hybrid.
all the different people, and I was speaking with Joanne about this, how I get to go and speak at different schools, get them active, get them involved, get them started with the chapter, and then they get to come to our meetings. We host speaker meetings. Then they get to go out and bring those own speakers to their own schools. So it's very exciting what we're doing. I'm hoping to kind of serve as a hub, for all of the Treasure Coast. And then we have people out from Okeechobee come and join us, from Martin, from Indian River, from Sebastian even. And so it is just such a blessing to be able to connect with so many different people from so many different walks of life. And we just hosted William Federer, who is a mentor for Charlie Kirk, as one of our speakers. So that was just such a blessing. That was our biggest one yet. We hosted Congressman Brian Mast back in January. We hosted school board members Jackie Rosario and Amy Pritchett back in March. And so it's just been very, very exciting to get all these different speakers involved, engaged, and get people active so that they can go live out the calling in their communities that they feel pulled to and that God has put upon their heart.
Did you graduate this year?
I did. I graduated last month.
And so you're naturally going to be turning over leadership to Club
Yes.
America to someone in the age group. Tell
Yes.
me about TPUSA Faith, because there's a big thing in the church in particular where a lot of people think it's not the mission of the church to be politically active. They sort of
Right.
ignore it. It's not discussed. They believe it takes away from the mission of the gospel when there's some real practical things. Can you speak to that? And what is your
Yeah, absolutely. That is like really where my heart is right now. Another organization that's very similar to Turning Point Faith is For Liberty and Justice. I love For Liberty and Justice. I met Representative Nate Slastine from out in Texas. He founded the organization. They are just such a blessing, and they host a series of courses. It works very, very similar to Turning Point Faith, where you get to take all these different courses that help you be more civically minded, but from a biblical worldview, Christian perspective, how to carry that into politics and then fight that in the public arena, on behalf of your church. And so it's just, you get to do so many unique things that you traditionally wouldn't be able to do, and you get to learn so many different, so much content that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. And so I'm very, very appreciative for both those organizations, and Turning Point Faith is very close to my heart because Christians need to be active. We need to be involved. Politics are dirty, and that's why Christians don't want to be in it, but it is dirty because Christians aren't in it, and if every Christian voted
Because
in
they're
accordance
not
with...
in it.
No,
Right.
not at all. And if every
So they
Christian
don't bring the
voted...
virtue purpose of it, do they?
No.
No, there's
they-
no one doing that on the level that the founders did it at, for example.
Absolutely. They just want to take, two separate things, and I can see the perspective and I can empathize with it, but at the end of the day, Christianity was the basis of our nation. The culture is changing because the basis of it is kind of shifting. Other people are trying to get in with other religions, or, even non-religions, and they're trying to kind of take it over, dismantle it. And so if we restore it back to biblical values, Christians voted in accordance with Christian values, we would be able to change the culture as a whole, and we will be able to restore America back to, the founders' design and intention. But, here we are. And so both those organizations, to tie it back into the question, this really live out that calling beautifully, and they're able to get Christians civically involved, wake up the church, and be activists on behalf of Christ in the political arena, which is super duper unique, and not a lot of organizations are able to collaborate in that way and take two totally different, things, but they're really very closely intertwined.
Wow,
Did you learn a lot of this from Charlie?
I was going
I
to say
did.
that.
I did. I love watching his videos. He's so, so wise. And I remember he said that when he started out, a lot of pastors, even now a lot of pastors, just kind of dismiss him and his perspective because he's politically active. But really, that's not necessarily the mission of the church, but the mission of the church is to influence the culture. So if the church is not doing its job successfully of influencing the culture to be a biblical foundation, biblically grounded, biblical worldview, then what are we doing, And so we need Christians to be involved in the political sphere so that we can continue to live out the mission of, the Great Commission: know God, make God known, bring others to Christ, share the gospel. We can't do that if enemies are rising into positions of power and actively trying to dismantle the foundation of our nation, and ultimately, the gospel that, was ingrained into so many documents that went into just founding us.
That's an interesting thing you say, because, Rush Limbaugh used to say politics is downstream from culture. But in the age of the internet, where messaging has been so decentralized, now politics is becoming culture.
Right.
There's still music and all these different things in the arts and everything, but you see a lot more of that. You see bigger discussions, and for some reason, I used to get upset sometimes with people in the church who didn't do these things in the political arena, and I was like, you guys got to get your politics saved, because it's just as important to apply the gospel to those things. John Adams did it.
Absolutely.
And so forth. Joanne, I want to turn over to you. It sounds like you had a question.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say, Charlie Kirk was trying to convey that. He even used Islam in America as an example, because they're rising these, this is what Christians need to do. I mean, I remember watching a show where he talked about Epic City in Texas, and he said, that's what Christians need to be doing.
Right.
And we're not doing that, but another society is doing it and coming to our nation to change our culture, and we're letting our culture just die. And Christians need to rise up, and it's up to the youth now to rise up and bring it back. But it's been polarized for decades now.
Absolutely. One thing I always say in my speeches is that my generation in specific thinks that, our freedom was fought for and it's done and over with now. Nothing else needs to be done. But that's not true, because other generations thought that same exact thing. And now we see, abortion, all of these abominations to, Christ's design for us as humanity, and it's completely being accepted by the culture because other generations had that same exact thought, didn't fight for our freedom, and now we're here. And so it's like there's no one else coming. It really is just us. And it's just we can only go up from here. We can only afford to go up from here. And we have to fight for our territory, you know. We need to put on the armor of God. We need to continue to be persistent and wise. And so that's where my heart is, and that's why I really love all these different organizations. And one thing that I'm a really big advocate for is that I don't expect everyone to be called to politics. I'm not saying that everybody ever needs to be politically, you know, active in the way that people think of being a candidate, running for office, you know, all of these different things, or like running a campaign, being a part of a team as an activist. Just simply be civically engaged and further biblical values and follow the calling that the Lord has put upon your heart. You don't need to do more than that, because I'm also a very big advocate to not do other people's jobs for them, you know, because we're kind of in this society where it's like everybody wants to do the same thing. Everybody wants to be rich and famous, powerful, all of these crazy things. But, you know, God has a different design for every person. And the more we continue to look at other people's lives and try to take on their things, we're actually doing a disservice to ourselves, and we're not living out the design God has for our lives to the fullest potential.
I heard someone put it this way. This was at church, actually. They said, you know, make America great again is probably the best statement I've ever heard, best marketing statement. And here's why: because you can do anything with excellence, whether what your vision is, and it'll make America great again. You know, and that's the beauty of it. It's like you can go and be excellent at your job. You can be excellent at whatever service you want to provide to people to make their lives
Right.
better, whatever it is, and it will make America greater than it was yesterday. And I think that's a lot of times we don't think of that. We think of just that MAGA in the
Right.
political arena, but in reality, it's a wholesome charge for the whole nation.
Exactly.
You know, Tessa, you've been doing a lot from Club America to TPUSA Faith, but you're also opening a nonprofit. So tell us
I
about your
am.
nonprofit.
So that was honestly a perfect transition, because my nonprofit is all about connecting young professionals with the calling that the Lord has put upon their hearts and giving them the resources to do so. Because you guys know my story. I feel like I've shared it quite a bit. But before politics, I wanted to be a butcher. And then I just had so many resources available to me that I was able to just explore what God was putting upon my heart at that given time. And I was able to just take advantage of all the different things in life. And I see so often with, you know, my generation and the youth, they don't have the knowledge or the accessibility to these different resources and opportunities. And so I would love to be a connector for that. And that's what my nonprofit is all about. It's about connecting young professionals with leadership opportunities and mentorship specifically, and so that they can have a relationship with someone one-on-one, help guide them towards, you know, a career path that they may be choosing, that they can be advised in before they commit to getting an education. You know, that was another thing that Charlie Kirk was really big on. You know, college is a scam. I literally have the book behind me. It's just, when you make a commitment like that, you know, sometimes you don't have all the facts. And so I would love to connect them with someone who's, you know, super wise, super well versed in that territory, and then be able to connect them. They'd be able to learn, they'd be able to process, you know, how am I going to get here in life? And then they can be fruitful with the resources that we were able to supply them with.
Yeah, because school basically just teaches you education, and kids are getting older and getting closer to graduating. And a lot of times they're like, I really don't know what I want to be.
Right.
Like, I don't know what I want to do. I really don't know what I like. I haven't worked in an office, or I haven't done this. Like you said, that you need the resources, you need the
Absolutely.
exposure, and to be able to compare and contrast and say, hey, this is actually where my skill set is at. They're just fresh. It's really a
Absolutely.
time of a lot of pressure when a student is graduating high school, and they're not sure what they're going to do, or they're just going to do what their parents said is best, or they're going to say, hey, business, I can do business and go everywhere and apply it to anything. but it
Yeah.
might not be the field you like. Like my daughter tried business and she said it was so boring. She didn't like it.
Right? Everybody has their
Is
different
right.
gifts, and that's what it's all about, you know? If you find what you're interested in and you can go all in and be successful and fruitful in that and be able to, you know, make a living, that's what it's all about, you know? Why do someone else's job for them kind of thing, you know? We all have our own personalities, own taste, own opinions, and there's something out there for everybody.
When did you read College is a Scam?
I read it probably last year. It was right before I went to CLS, actually, when I met Charlie. So it was like right before, because I wanted to be prepared. I was like,
So
because
you read College is a Scam. That's awesome.
yes, because I was just like, it was right before I kind of chose politics, full stop. So I read it because I'm currently dual enrolled still, and I'll be getting my AS in project management this fall. But I got an AS in product management because I wasn't looking to pursue a higher education, but I wanted to have something under my belt that was tangible. I could show, I could say, here's what I have to offer and bring to the table, even though I want to be a butcher, because there's not necessarily a school you
You're
can
really
go
good
to
at
for that.
butchering.
I still can't get over her being a butcher.
She's really good, people.
I will be one day, you know. I hope to open up my own butcher shop,
Don't
and then I hope
mess
to run
with
for
Tessa.
Commissioner of Agriculture.
So what was the big thing you learned from that book, if there was one or maybe 2 points that he makes about college and the decision of it?
I'd say what really kind of struck me was that I was very dependent on God and, you know, all of the decision-making process of, you know, maybe drawing back in certain areas and going all in others, you know. And that was kind of hard to kind of make a shift in what organizations I was going to be involved in, what volunteer opportunities I was going to take advantage of, so that would be beneficial to my life and, you know, my longevity in a career that I was choosing. And so in that book, the overarching theme that I kind of was like praying over was just be in tune with God and in your relationship with Him over what He wants for your life. And if you don't know, it's okay, but just actively be pursuing something. You know, don't just sit there stagnant. Don't just say, okay, well, I'm going to go to college to get an education now, because that's just the next best step, because then you'll end up, you know, in debt. The degree most of the time is not applicable for the job you end up taking. He showed the statistics for that. He talked about it in depth. There's just so many side effects, I would call them, that people don't necessarily take into consideration when making a commitment like that. And what I've been able to do instead, even though I am attending college and I have seen the benefits of it, is that I take advantage of all of these other things and all of these other resources and resume builders that I can do right now and see right now, is this something that I'm interested in pursuing? Is this something that I'm good at? Is this something that I can be successful in? Is this something that will be prosperous for me and my family? You just kind of look at that at the bigger picture, and that's just what I kept seeing over and over again. Just keep exploring, keep trying new things. It's never too late to change your mind, and it's not a bad thing to change your mind. Just always be moving in a positive direction and just lean into Christ, what He's telling you to do, and you can't go wrong.
Sounds like it removed a lot of anxiety.
Absolutely,
Do
absolutely.
you find that anxiety in your generation in about these types of decisions, because, you know, high school doesn't last forever?
Yeah. Don't peak in high school. That's like the slogan for my nonprofit, is just don't peak in high school.
So, Tessa, you are also working on a campaign now talking about getting into politics. Tell us about that.
Yes, so I am Representative Dana Trabolsi's campaign manager for re-election. This will be her last term if she's elected, and I'm very excited to see what happens. And it's going to be an interesting time. I've been working hard. We're door knocking already, and I'm very excited to play, you know, such a big role. I've interned under the Congressman Brian Mast campaign, so I kind of had some experience from that. And it's just really interesting stuff, and I look forward, you know, to running myself one day. So this has just been like such a blessing, such a great experience. Dana's amazing. She's so wonderful, and I'm so excited to take this role on.
So you're knocking doors. Are you out every day now?
Yes, I'm trying. I'll actually be in Tallahassee next week, and then I'll be in DC for the 4th of July. So that's kind of like 2 weeks out, but I'm building a volunteer base. I'm trying to get them involved as well. And it's a lot of work, but it's very fulfilling, because it's honestly what I was praying for. I always wanted, a position like this where I could do what I love and, be compensated for it. And so it's just a very exciting time.
So tell us, what does a campaign manager do?
So I kind of orchestrate all of the different outreach things. So, I coordinate volunteer engagement, and then I do, if we were petitioning, I would be in charge of that. If we're door knocking, which obviously we are, I cut the wall books, I do all of the stuff with the software, I talk with the volunteers, I do those one-on-one meetings, I organize different opportunities for her to go and connect with the community. But she does such a great job of doing that already herself. She has so many wonderful connections, so she makes my job so easy. But I order all the cool stuff, all the merch, and it's just really exciting stuff, getting to talk to voters, getting them involved, registering voters even, all of the new people that are coming out and wanting to be engaged for the midterms. So it's really cool stuff.
Are you guys using the TPUSA Walk app?
No, we're actually using WebElect because that's what she's used in the past. And so I had to learn that a bit, and I've had some really great people that have been able to lean into me and help me out and, show me the ropes. And so that's been really awesome, super helpful, and I'm excited. I'm going door knocking tomorrow, actually, with the local REC. So that'll be a really great time. I'll have her palm cards. It'll be good to go. We just got everything ordered, so we're super, super excited.
So is Trabulsi, is she just St. Lucie, or is it just
Yes.
one county?
Yes, so she's St. Lucie, but it's a weird cutout. So she's 84, so it kind of goes like this. And then 85 right beneath her, they take out the other bottom chunk that's kind of like a half circle, and then they go into Martin. So she's like the upper half of Port St. Lucie and Fort Pierce.
Okay, yeah. Our district changed.
Not that one.
Sure.
We still have Brackett.
We still have Brackett, yeah.
We still have Robbie,
Yeah.
which is
It
cool.
it's the Senate seat that changed, right? That's
The Senate changed, a couple years ago,
Yeah.
and that's when Aaron
Yeah.
got pointed to it. Now
The congressional redistricting really didn't change much for us, thankfully. Like nothing major. So we still are District 21, so that's really lucky for me.
But it's pretty much all of Port St. Lucie, the city, right?
Mhm.
District.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
like it's all of Fort Pierce, and then it's just like a weird chunk of Port St. Lucie city.
and then the rest of it is 9 West County, after past Midway and 70, I think.
Hey, let's
We're in.
pause here and take a break. This way we can come back and bring John on so that John can ask some questions and participate. So let's take a short break and we'll show your video, Tessa.
Awesome.
All right, guys, let's bring John on board.
Hey, Johnny John.
Hi.
Hello, hello. Look at Thomas with his World Cup hat. Look at him; he looks all. Gotta get the theme of the hat. I like it. I
Hey,
got my new
Yeah.
merch too. My new merch is
this is old school right here, bro.
it is old school. I noticed it right away. Good first half. Good questions. Tessa, yeah, you definitely been called to purpose. There's no doubt about that. So I mean, we knew that before, and so it's good to have you back on the show to
Thank
you know
you.
speak your truth and your authentic self. So yeah, the call to purpose is big. We are sovereign beings, so we have to realize that we have to step into our sovereignty. So I think that you're leading people into understanding that they need to open themselves up and step into their authenticity and become a sovereign being, because we are. We don't realize it because we're born in truth and we grow up believing all these lies, all these political lies and this news lies and the
Right.
the media lies and all those things that we think are true, but we don't realize that a lot of things we were told are not what really is. And that's a lot what Charlie Kirk was trying to do as well, was trying to open people's eyes up to certain things that he saw that were false. So it's great that you're doing that. And congratulations on the nonprofit as well.
Thank you.
That's awesome. It takes a lot to get to start a nonprofit and to
Yeah.
yeah, it takes a lot. It's not easy. I was in that industry for a long time, so it's a
Really?
struggle. But once you get going and you build that build those constituents and get those volunteers, and you'll be off and running.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Tessa, you're going to be, as we said earlier, you're going to be passing the baton over to another high schooler to take
Yes.
over. Do you have you been mentoring somebody for that? Do you have somebody in mind for that? Do they know who they are?
Have you told them
I've
yet?
no. So I've been mentoring a couple people. Our Turning Point chapter is very unique because we reach out to college kids and middle schoolers along with high schoolers. So we're very diverse. I'd like to transition out of it because I feel like it's going to drag on a bit if I'm graduating college soon and I'm still in Club America. So I'll be doing it one more year just so I can everybody gets their roles down, because we just elected a couple of new board members, so that'll be really exciting. We've been helping them learn the ropes, but I think I'm going to have my vice president take over. He's done a really wonderful job, and so if he's willing to take that role, I really hope he takes it, and I think he'll be great for it. And if not, there's still quite a few people in our chapter that are really eager to learn, eager to share, and they're willing to go all in to help support the cause and get more people involved.
Yeah, I think it's so powerful to listen to you, because a lot of young people are in that space where they want to do what you're doing, but they don't have the confidence because of the backlash they might get from their friends. So it's very courageous, the step that you're taking to come forward, and you do such a good job of it.
Thank you. That means a lot. I can completely empathize with that, because I have lost friends, being so involved. Like, for instance, I literally didn't go to prom or homecoming this year because I was just too busy doing things. I was too busy, whether I think I was literally door knocking on prom night, like the prom day, and then that night I had a meeting with like one of the elected officials for something, and then homecoming I was out there petitioning for Congressman Brian Mass. So it's like I'm working hard, and you have to be willing to make different sacrifices like that. And that's lost me a couple of friends, but the real ones stayed, and those are the relationships I care about, and they've been incredibly fruitful and impactful for me, because I know that they're pouring into my life and praying for me, and I'm doing the exact same for them.
Tessa, when it comes to your church family, how are they supportive of you and the work you're doing?
They're so wonderful. My pastor's just lovely. We actually host the Turning Point USA chapter and Turning Point Faith chapter at my church. And so that's just been such a huge blessing. We've been able to pull in such great different people from the community through it, and even different people that have come to Turning Point at our church have started attending the youth group, started attending our church services. And so it's been really great for outreach as well. And we've had predominantly, Christians come and be a part of our meetings just naturally because of, conservatism as a whole. But it's just been really wonderful to be able to pull them into our own church family, and for our church family to just be so receptive and outgoing. And it's been such a cool dynamic to see. And just as a youth myself, pulling in so many people so that they can also pursue Christ head on and just have that relationship with him has just been so wonderful to just be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tessa, what do you do when you're not making a sacrifice of going and do a petition drive instead of going to prom?
She's butchering a pig.
I'm butchering a pig. No, I literally am at home with my animals, most likely. But I have my
Choosing which
pig.
one's going to be dinner or what?
I would love to have Tessa at a pig roast.
Please, it was so funny. So school member
You're an
Jackie
award-winning
Rosario, I
butcher,
visited her
correct?
for Thanksgiving, and I brought her some of my pig. She thought it was amazing.
And you're an award-winning butcher, right?
I did. I won first place with Hog and Ham program through the University of Florida last year,
Wow.
and so that was extremely exciting because it was
The
a shock to me. I
Hog
didn't
and
think I'd
Ham
win, but
program.
the Hog and Ham program, I'm a huge advocate for them. It is through 4-H in the University of Florida. Please join if you're interested. It is so amazing. It's 8th grade to 12th grade. And so this is my final year, and I'm clocking out, but it's been so wonderful, and I hope to one day sponsor youth to do it themselves. We're the only organization that offers that, across America, that opportunity, the University of Florida and 4-H. And so it is just so cool. I loved it. I learned so much. You get to audit different butchers and grocery stores and even restaurants, and you get to make a 12-minute PowerPoint and you present it at the University of Florida in front of professors, and it's about the meat industry or something adjacent to it or butchering. And so it's just such a great learning opportunity because you just are so hands-on, and you get to have all of those different conversations that you would never have unless you were kind of forced into that
So
situation. So
you audit restaurants. What does an audit of a restaurant look like?
So I have like
We'd like to know.
a sheet of questions. It's nothing serious, but it's just about butchering, how much of their menu is pork, how much of their menu is beef, how much of their menu are, whatever else. What are those prices? Have you seen an increase with these different demographics recently? Have you seen, it's just like, it's a really great gauge.
It's like an economic
It's
audit.
thought-provoking, definitely.
Yeah, so it was really eye-opening for me. That's what really got me into wanting to be a butcher, was those audits, because I audited Publix was my first one, and I got to talk to public butchers, and it was such a great learning opportunity, just learning how, they have to do certain things when they're meat cutting, because when snowbirds come down, they like things a certain way from up north compared to local Floridians. And then I got to talk to Cutright up in Vero, actually, and he's wonderful. And I got to learn more about his operation. I shadowed him a couple of times. So it's just such a great gauge of learning all these different things, how people run things differently, and how you are able to cater to people and their own unique needs in that position of being a producer.
So
Wow.
with pork, because
Yes.
there's all this talk about the pork industry and the possibility of mRNA in some of the processing, the vaccines.
Yes.
Where do you find good organic pork on the Treasure Coast? And how do you
Grow it yourself. No, no, honestly,
have you
Cutright.
heard about
Well, we have
you're like
farmers
yes.
here.
You said yes to what I've been saying. We had I can't remember her name right now, and they were talking about that the pork industry is one of the first places where the mRNA, the vaccines for animals, are being introduced, and you're obviously
Wow.
very upset about this, and looks like you're going to politically fight to get this removed.
Yeah, hopefully I can run for Commissioner of Agriculture someday. I'd love to, make a change, because Florida is such a big cattle state, and I don't even have to talk about how big of a produce state we are in general when it comes to citrus and, all of that good stuff. So it's just, I could go on and on about it. I literally did a presentation at it, at UF over it. And it's just, we are done such a disservice because nobody acknowledges that unless you live in an agriculture community. And you think it's just such a niche thing, but Florida is such a big
Huge
ag
cattle.
state.
Yeah.
How
So
do people get to learn about that, though? Because farmers are pretty much like a group of people that kind of, they hang together. It's like, how does like a person like me that lives in the city try, like, I know ag is important, but how do I reach out to a farmer and learn more about it so that I could be more educated in defending and being an advocate for a farmer? It seems like they're like this niche of people
Like
that kind of stick.
exclusive. No,
Yeah, like they don't really.
they know stuff we don't.
they do. They have insider knowledge, but
Either too
but-
busy to share with you or just don't take you
Right.
serious when you want to learn.
I'd say it really is about finding the right people, because there are some people like that, but I've been so fortunate to be connected to so many producers that are just so willing to help me learn and educate. And Cartwright up in Vero, he's wonderful. His organization's wonderful, all the stuff he does up there. And he does a lot of educational field trips, really cool things. What is it called? Sutton Farms out in Okeechobee. I recently did a thing with him, and I'm hopeful that maybe he'll be a part of my nonprofit. He has the second biggest dairy farm, I believe, in Florida, and he's just doing a great job out there. I learned so much about, dairy farming that I didn't know, and it's just all these different producers that they'll offer those educational opportunities, but you do kind of have to go out there and search for it. But a lot of times if you go to, for instance, like the fair, like I know for us, the St. Lucie County Fair is like such a big thing, but you get to learn so much from the exhibitors that pour into their livestock, and they have so much information that you can glean from. And so I would definitely recommend talking to the youth that are involved, FFA, 4-H, all of those different organizations that are involved in ag. You can learn a lot, and a lot at a local level. Instead of just looking on Google, all these different things, or even these big producers, if you talk to the students that are going through it day after day and they're pouring in the work and the hours, you'll get to learn so much about, the respective industry of that project.
So Tessa, UF, it's still very strong in ag, and
Yes.
Because our high school right here in Indian River County used to have an ag program, and it's gone.
Really?
Yes, they used to have some land where they actually had cows, and they raised, pigs, and they did stuff here in Indian River County back, I want to say, because I started, it was like 2004 to 2010, 11, and then slowly they phased the ag out. And how hard would it be to try to get ag back into a high school?
I think it's getting easier. I think people are definitely much more health conscious than they have been in the past. With the MAHA movement, I think Florida's definitely leading in this with First Lady DeSantis. She's doing wonderful work for MAHA. And so I think people are waking up, wanting to know what's in their food, wanting to know more about produce as a whole and agriculture. And so I think that we could do it. FFA is obviously such a great support system for that when it comes to high schools and middle schools that take that on. We have a high school and middle school here in St. Lucie County that both have FFA, and they're thriving. They're doing wonderfully, and they offer so many different opportunities, very similar to 4-H. And so I think that if we just continue to boost up these organizations that offer these resources, and we just honestly guide, students into that, I think we'll be very successful in that endeavor. And that's what I'm hopeful to do with my organization even. I'm talking with partnering with 4-H so I can get more kids involved in ag. And if that's what they're interested in pursuing, connect them with the right people and the right mentors so that they can be fruitful in that industry. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very hopeful. And ag is very near and dear to my heart. I hope to open up my own butcher shop someday. And even if I don't, I hope to run for Commissioner of Agriculture. And so I really hope to serve as the link in the bridge between, the broader community and the agricultural community.
Can you, that's one of the things with beef, and you hear about all these different things and treatments or vaccinations that they give. What's a good resource in finding, just good down home, independent producers to purchase from? They're obviously the ones you hear online and the big radio and all that, but
Right.
I mean locally here, who do you like?
I like Cartwright. I've said him 5 times. I'm just giving him plugs shamelessly. But I really do love Cartwright. He's just wonderful. And I think that if you're interested in producer, if you can tour, their processing area or the farm, I think that'll really give you a good read on if you want to invest in them and you want to purchase their, their goods. And so that's what I kind of did. And it really is eye-opening to be able to see where your food's coming from. And so I just encourage you to do that if you have the ability to. If you don't, that's totally okay. Just look at the packaging of your food or of your meat when you go to like, Publix, Sprouts, even Aldi. I do not get, meat from Aldi. Sam's, I like Sam's. I like Sam's and Publix. Publix is really great. But just go there, look at the packaging, look at the different cuts of meat, just kind of be aware and look into those different brands and, what is kind of being said about them. Because one thing I know from, doing so much research is that.
Oh, you
Yes.
froze.
You froze. You went down. There is a thunderstorm going on.
Yeah, big
This
one.
is really interesting. I'm getting schooled on agriculture from a 18-year-old girl who's just bright as all can be, and you know,
Let me pull her off till she comes back. Yeah, she's amazing.
as a
Brilliant young
consumer, you're just
lady.
like, huh? I'm going to Cutrights tomorrow and get some bacon.
I like the idea that she wants to run for agriculture, uh, for the state. That would be great.
Yeah,
We've got one in the making.
you're
All
back.
right,
I'm
she's
back.
back.
Great. There's actually a storm outside, so I
Yeah,
don't know what you heard
there's a
last,
huge
but
front coming through.
Hmm. It's dark here.
over
Okay,
here.
so now I got to ask you, what makes a good cut of bacon?
Less fat.
Funny story. I When I first did the Hog and Ham program, my pig was so small I couldn't even get bacon off of it. So
Where does the bacon come from? Tell us.
it comes from like, the belly. It comes from the belly and I've always gone bacon,
I don't
I
know
could
this.
get
So how do you get more meat in the bacon?
for me, you just grow it out and you give it, I'm very fortunate to have,
How
pig
does
mentors. And so they're able to help guide me in the different feed that I'm supposed to feed my pig. So if my pig's, needing to bulk up in certain areas or slow down or slim out and become more lean, I feed it just different feeds and then it's able to like shape its body in that way. And so it's just all about preference, honestly. Like for this one, I've kept like this pig that I have right now, I've kept it consistently on the same feed. I've had it for like a couple of months, but it's been doing pretty well. But you just kind of have to alter it, and thankfully I have people that are able to guide me in that because I would not be able to tell you what to do just right here and right now. But thankfully, the past few years when I've done the butchering program, I've had bacon. I've since learned. Thankfully, I won first place, so I sure hope my bacon's good. But, yeah, I say I don't like fatty bacon. That's not for me. One year I had a really fatty bacon, and I was not a fan.
So Tessa, you are a woman that brings home the bacon.
I am. One
so
really could say that.
so you use different types of feed. Basically what are they?
What are they? So
They do each one.
typically you look for high lysine content, it's called. And so you want like, high protein, all that good stuff, but lysine's what you really look for. And so there's even different supplements that you can give your swine that have a high lysine content so that they can grow more. Like I know when it comes fair time, I would have to give it different supplements because it was simply not growing at the speed that I needed it to in order to make weight for fair. And so they have different things like that that can just help supplement in the areas that it's lacking or, the swine might be struggling in, and then be able to bulk it up more and carve it out in those certain areas when it comes to like its overall like meat structure or body structure.
So lysine is an organic pig steroid.
You could say that too.
And what food is that found in mostly for a pig? That the feed, what, like a corn or?
So majority of the food I used is like corn based, I'm pretty sure. I've switched food kind of a lot recently. Right now I'm on Primo Feeds and they've really been doing a great job. I used to be on Lidner. They did great too. So those are just two different feed brands, but I believe for both of them, I don't want to get torched for getting it wrong, but I believe corn is their base ingredient. It kind of has to be for majority of the feed.
Okay.
How big will your pig get?
Hopefully, I'm aiming for like 270, 280. That's like the golden spot. You want to, I think it's like 250 is like okay. But if you're like, or I think my past pigs have been like 230. And obviously they won first place, so they were doing pretty good. But usually for like meat content, you want it to be like 250, 280 is the golden spot. You don't want it to go over, or else it'll be definitely, too big and bulky. And if you go under, it'll just be too lean.
Well, how long does it take for the pig to get to full size?
So typically slaughter is at about 6 months. So I get my
Wow.
pig at about 3 months. I grow it out for 3, and then I butcher at 6.
Wow.
Man.
So you don't name your pig, right?
I do name my pig. This one actually has not had a name yet, but I named them.
Better hurry up.
I know, it's almost over. I was like, this is my final pig. I really need a good name. And then I just never found one. So if you have any name suggestions right here, right now, I'd love to hear them.
Almost over.
I wish you had a picture of your pig so we could see
I
the
might.
the
Let's
cutie
see.
pie.
No, we're
Pretty
gonna
smart,
we're all
aren't
gonna be
they?
cutie pied, and she's gonna get letters from the email we sent saying, "Don't kill cutie pie."
No, not cutie pie. Not
Just
cutie
don't call him nuggets.
No, I can't find a photo sadly right now, but he's a Berkshire, so he's like all black and then he has some like white marking. So he's very unique.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes. I love him. He's a good boy. He's doing a good job. He's growing.
He doesn't know what awaits.
Well, when you carve
I
him
tell
up,
him every chance I
Tessa,
get.
I want to see what your bacon looks like.
I will. I'll send you a photo. I'll bring you guys some. How about that? That's even better.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Get together.
Yeah.
Totally. We'll have
Yeah.
BLTs.
Yeah, that'd be
See
great.
that. Yeah.
John's
I've
like,
never
grab
had-
BLTs now.
That's
I've
it.
never
Right.
had homemade bacon.
No.
Yes. I'll season it, everything, cook
You
it,
cure
bring
it?
it over.
You want the whole thing? Do you cure
What?
the bacon? Do you have like a curing process?
I do not. So that's the one part of it I don't do. So up at UF, the students, they cure the bacon, they slice it, they do all that, and it's for like an extra fee. But they do such a good job. I pay the fee every time, and it's so easy. I go back up and I get it. And the rest of the work I do, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You just kind of do it according to what you want, what your preferences are. So whatever you want for ribs, you make those cuts, you put it through like the slicer and whatever. Obviously you have to like break it down, which is a lot of work. And so I'm very thankful that the students are there to support me in that, because doing it once a year, I don't remember a lot of things, but that's like one thing I wish I had more. So I'm hoping to, get more pigs so I can do it my own, like all the way through. But I just do literally every other animal but pigs consistently. So I'd like to learn more about how to do that. But I really love their process up there.
So
So
what's
you've
your
done
best
beef
part of the
and
pig?
different things?
So what's my what?
Your
Go ahead.
preference.
Sorry, Joanne.
Which slice of the pig is your preference? The area that's you would prefer.
I love the bacon, but I really liked ham. I was not a ham fan, but when I made my own ham, I really did like it. I really liked it. I really liked the recipe I used, and I think it was because I grew it myself. I was like, I just loved it. I made it for Thanksgiving for the whole family. It turned out really great.
Well, thank the Lord for all these natural animals and the resources that we have that He put
Absolutely.
on earth to help feed us and keep us healthy.
And you've done other butchery. What
Yes.
other animals like
I've-
steak?
I've
or-
butchered a gator because my dad got gator tickets last season. So that was really cool to do because he knew how to do that. So he helped me field dress it. That was really fun. And then I did chickens. That was kind of miserable. I do not like butchering chickens. I'm not a fan, and I don't plan to do it in the future, but I know I will have to because nobody else in my family knows how. So meat chickens are not for
Does that
me,
include
but
like the plucking of all the feathers?
You gotta
in the
soak
butchering
them and
process?
pluck them.
well, thankfully we had a machine. One of my friends had a machine. So he brought over the machine and it spins it in a circle and it gets rid of like all the feathers. It depulks it for me. And then, so that was easy. It's just my hands hurt so bad. I had to get through like 30 chickens in a day. And it
Oh
was
my
just like,
gosh.
I was the only one that knew how to do anything. So I just had to do the full process from start to finish with the help of like them packaging. And so that was just really taxing on me. But it's all good. But I do rabbits as well. Rabbits, I'm also not the biggest fan of doing, but it's way easier than a chicken, and and I feel like it's more humane. I know it's like the ways I do it, I purposely make sure it's the most humane way possible, but rabbits, I just feel like it's so much more humane, and like I'm just like, just getting it done in a really healthy way.
We have learned that
Wow.
rabbits are better to butcher than chickens.
No, it depends on who you are. Maybe if you have more muscles than me, maybe you'll change your mind.
That's
My
hilarious.
gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, well, Tessa,
So at a
thank you
gator,
for
hold on,
joining
I gotta
us.
ask the
Oh,
thing,
you got
because
to
you
ask the
butchered a
gator what?
gator. Yeah, I mean, you butcher a gator, so how does that work? Because they're very thick-skinned, obviously, I guess.
There's so many different things to it. My dad knows all the tips and tricks, but we preserved the hide so we could get that tanned and all of that good stuff. So that was like something in and of itself. But overall, cutting it, it's like you have, what would be the tenderloin, all of those different things, and you just kind of just break it down. It's very similar in a way to a pig, just because I just feel like all animals have a very similar anatomical structure once you get into it, but because it's a reptile, it's obviously different. So that was just weird. So I'm very, very glad that he was able to help me out.
So does the
But
hide just come off first then, I guess?
How was the gator dip after that?
the gator was so good. I made fried like gator tail, and that was delicious, and I was very thrilled about it.
Gator tail, that's the best.
Tell you
Nice.
what.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to try it.
What?
good.
Maybe I have to bring that too.
Yeah, for sure. That gator
That
tail's
is
good.
so awesome.
And I'll
That's
never
great.
try frogs, so don't even.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love frog legs. Frog legs are amazing. Maybe I'm a little too country for that take, but I do like frog legs.
I can't look at a frog that's fried in the little body, like
Is there any meat on a frog?
drives me
Oh
nuts.
yeah.
There's me.
Oh yeah.
Wow, we just got a full load with Tessa Toman
That's
tonight.
right. From
You did. You
steak
learned
to
way more
gator
than you
bites.
thought you would, I'm sure.
Right.
That's great, Tessa. I just love you. You're great.
Quite honest. Come on, Thomas. What? Is Bolak on there now?
Yep.
I don't see him. Where's he at?
I'm just seeing the comments.
Oh.
That's too funny.
I'll tell you what. If you run for ag, you got my vote.
That's right.
Glad to hear it. I got until I'm 30. 30 I can run.
All right.
We'll start the campaign now.
Yeah, right? I'll be, very well versed hopefully by then.
Yeah, I'll knock on doors for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sure I'll need it. Statewide
I'll have a
campaign
scooter
sounds
by then,
stressful.
but I'll be knocking on doors for you.
Scooter. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'll have a scooter by then.
That'll be great. Scooter around. Scooters are good. I'm gonna start getting some scooters, I think, for the volunteers, maybe. Rent some
Well, I'll
out.
tell you what, when I was running for my campaign, and Thomas ran too, I got a bicycle and it had a little basket in the front, and I put all my campaign
I was
material
gonna say, put your
in the front of the
literature.
basket. Yep, everything was in there, and I went from door to door, and it really helped out.
I love that. That's awesome.
Especially if you're out in the country area where the houses are really separated, they're far apart because they have these beautiful lawns.
Right.
You go from one house to another and you get there a lot faster. So it helps
For
out
sure.
in the heat. So
The heat, the Florida heat.
yeah, well, we're coming up on the hour, Tessa, man, and it's been fun.
I know. I'm so happy you guys had me back on. Have me again in a couple months. We'll see where I'm at then.
Yeah, we want to know what the updates are.
Well, you'll be up in Tallahassee probably for the swearing in of the next house. So that'll be good.
I'll be up there this upcoming week with 4-H for 4-H Ledge. So that'll be really exciting. So that'll be great. And then I got a scholarship with the Leadership Institute to go up for their training in from July 1st to the 5th in DC, and then I'll get to be in DC for the 250th anniversary.
So you'll be
of
doing the
America.
campaign management school,
I am.
and you'll be staying in Arlington.
Yep.
At their facility there.
Yes, and that's where it'll be. And then they're doing what is it called? They're staying for us. They're paying for us to stay an extra night, so then we can be a part of the festivities if we got on scholarship. So that was just such a blessing. I was so happy I applied.
You'll be 3 miles from downtown.
Wow.
DC.
She's just
Right on
absorbing
Metro.
all of this.
I know. It's
That
such
is
a
just-
blessing. God has been blessing me so much.
And I can tell he has a plan for you. You remind me of, things that Charlie Kirk said, and this is the youth that's following him, and he made such an impact, and that's why they assassinated him, because the impact he was making was in your generation, and your
Absolutely.
generation, like you said, is going to make the change.
Change the
It's
tide.
going to happen through you
Absolutely.
guys. I mean, we're here to support and do our part as well, but it's your
Thank you.
generation that's getting the impact of what's being left
Yeah.
behind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm excited to see what God does. My generation, I'm seeing wake up more and more. And so I'm very excited to see them not only civically engaged, but, have their own personal relationship with God and walk with God. And I think we're just going to have such a great culture because of, this tragedy that happened. God is using it for good and for our nation's good.
That's right.
That's
Right.
amazing. Tessa, it's wonderful having you. I
It's
think you're so
wonderful seeing
glad.
you guys. It's been so fun.
Enjoy DC, and
Thank you.
when you get there and you see the 5 liberals that are doing a pro algae protest at the reflecting pool, just sort of photobomb their shots, okay?
I will, just for you.
In a MAGA hat.
Here's
I will.
Tessa.
I'm bringing one. I
All
have
right.
one right. I don't have a MAGA hat, but I have one right here on my
There
desk.
you go. I have a few.
All right. Well, thank you, Tessa.
Thank you for having me. Love you guys. I'll see you soon, I'm sure.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Oops. What a great interview.
Oh my goodness. Too much fun. You know, I'm just like, I'm stunned because you didn't see this in our generation when we were younger. This wasn't our focus.
No, it wasn't. We
And
didn't
more
talk
I'm
about
seeing
these
this.
topics.
No, more and more I'm seeing this, and it's really, it gives you a lot of hope because, uh, yeah, you can be confident that what you now strive for, that we've always strived for when we started figuring it out, um, kids who are 17, 18 years old are miles ahead of you, even on a lot of things that are, that we should know now. And it's just, to me, it's just incredible. She's just amazing. So, and I know a lot of people her age like her that are doing the same thing or a variation. I don't know if they're as involved as her, but
Well, she is busy, Club
yeah,
America, Faith, the nonprofit that she's doing, campaigning, and even more, with the ag stuff that she's got going on as well. So she's really,
yeah, it's a heart of a servant. That's what it is. It's to actually serve, and her nonprofit is really about how can we pull out of you. You want to make some decisions. How can we pull out your destiny for you, and have you focus on that, and then go forth. That's 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 a world changing vision. That's not usually how it works. It's usually like, oh, we'll teach you to read. Oh, we'll do this. Oh, we'll do that. Hyper focused on these things. She's like, no, let's really look at the student as a person and bless them to pull what they are out of them. What is
yeah,
it?
because she's focusing on, it's very individualized, like you're saying.
Absolutely. And you don't get that from a lot of
Mm-mm.
the way she
No.
articulated it. I was just like, wow, I can't find adults who think like that.
She's got a great vision, and we need it today because the world is so confusing for the young people today.
Yes.
They're being told a lot of untruths and trying to make them believe that's the truth. And the battle is real. It's between good and evil, and we need to have that positive building and mentorship, like she said. The kids need that.
Yeah. So what's going to happen next week on this show?
I don't have anybody set up for today to be put on next week, but I'm going to try to get some candidates. I'm really trying to reach out and see if we can pull some candidates on because we've got elections coming up in August and it's just right around the corner.
Yeah, we have there'll be one for school board, and that's Jackie Rosario, and her opponent's Tom Lang.
Got county commission.
County commission, and Daryl Orr's going to go to the general against Mark Jaffe. And we still have the primary here with District 2. Nicole Paradiso put herself in as a write-in recently. You also have Jennifer Pippin, of course, who we see her ad here, Bob McPartlin, and Mr. Brooks Robinson, the former Hall of Fame baseball player. No, just kidding. But a man of the same name. So,
Well, are the primaries, do we have our District 9 candidate? Is that in the primaries?
yes, we do. We have several. Actually, I do want to make an announcement about that. On July 29th at the Heritage Center, it will be absolutely free. And I would love to have the board report come down and actually do a broadcast from it. I know we've talked about it, but it'll be absolutely free. We'll have all the Republican candidates for District 9. I'm pulling up the list name because I can't even remember them. It's just, there's so many of them. And they all have their own view on things in terms of, positions and stuff like that. So I'm very excited for this. I think we're going to take some questions, hopefully from the audience. I, as the president of the Republican Club of Indian River, who's sponsoring it, will be working on this with a lot of our membership. But let's see the names we have. Ben Butler is committed, Marcus Carter, Thomas Chalifo, Dan Green, who's from Vero Beach, who stepped into the race, Jorge Martinez or George, Steve Rance, and Justin Story. And I think there are two others that I don't think they qualified. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 7 of them.
Do you know which counties they're in? Are they in Indian River County? I know
Dan
one you
Green
said
is in Indian River. Thomas Chalifo ran for District 9 under the old format against Soto and lost. Marcus Carter's from up in Osceola. Ben Butler is, I want to say he's in Okeechobee. He's a farmer, actually. It has a family farm business. Jorge Martinez is a tax accountant, CPA, comes from Osceola or Orange. Steve Rance is a pastor up there. And so a lot of these guys, and Justin Story, I have not met Justin Story. A lot of these guys have come from more out west in District 9, Dan Green being the exception. Dan Green did serve in the Trump administration.
What did he do there?
He probably worked on military stuff. He was an intelligence officer. He was at the Pentagon in 2001 during 9/11.
Oh, wow.
He had just gotten out of school, was at the Pentagon doing his job. As he tells the story, he felt the building shake when the plane hit, and he served. He said at that moment he was going to go into the military. He just knew that's what he was going to do. It was like, boom. And he served 5 tours. He's very good on military intelligence and things of that nature. Building
It'll be
relationships.
interesting to hear his story.
Yeah, he served in Afghanistan. He served in Iraq. He was in Fallujah. He did all sorts of things. He's quite an amazing guy, and just talking to him. Ben Butler he's just a family of farmers, but he's also worked with the Agricultural Commission here in the state and on various issues. He understands the in and outs of agriculture, and not just from as a producer, but also what the government has to deal with in terms of regulation and things like that, and those issues. So you've got some really neat and intelligent and diversified backgrounds in this race, and it's going to be quite a forum. 6:30, July 29, at the Heritage Center. It will be free, and
So it's going to be like a forum. So are they going to Are you going to have like certain questions that you're going to ask each and every candidate, or do they come up
I
and
do it a
just
little
be?
differently. I want to sometimes putting forth the same question, especially to seven people, is
Mm,
difficult because if they're not prepared, they hear if the last guy, the last two people aren't prepared, they hear what the first five said and they just sort of repeat that and gloss over. So, you know, we'll figure it out. It's going to be interesting now, I think. And they are also talking about national issues, which we have the SAVE Act could be passed by the time these guys get into office. It's already been passed in the House, so it's almost like an irrelevant question other than to try and get it onto reconciliation. But if that doesn't happen by this year, it's going to start over again next year.
hmm
So you never know how this is going to work out. I think Trump has been playing hardball. I mean, totally aggressive hardball. You see what he did with the Pulte nomination, and then he pulled it and put in Clayton, and then he pulled that, and he said, you know, I'm gonna go. If you guys, I'll give you FISA back if you pass the SAVE Act, because he knows what's more important here. I mean, everyone talks about the FISA, the 702, but look, there's a lot of, and well, you won't be able to do foreign intelligence. No, that's not true. We've got so much that we can do um, with FISA, without FISA, that it's almost insignificant that if it does get passed. But there are a lot of people, especially Democrats, who want it, and
hmm
he's trying to make this work, and he's playing just absolute hardball. I think that's what's really ticking off the John Tunes of the world and the John Cornyn's of the world. These guys aren't used to this. They are
No, and
not
they
used
were
to this
never
at
really
all.
playing in our court. They were
And this is
playing
why
in the Democrat court for decades.
they could hide. You're
hmm
absolutely well. As long as we get our elections, well, and they would come around, with senators every 6 years, and they would come around and say, "Hey, well, if we just get the majority, we can move these things." They got the majority. What did Senator McCain do in the first? We got the majority to repeal Obamacare. What did he do? He balked because they
hmm
never wanted to do it. They didn't want to be the guy. And when you have one vote, you're the guy. You either cast for or you cast against because that's going to determine the whole thing. That's what he did, and then he died. That was his, and because he was mad at Trump. I've never seen. The more I follow very closely, I do it with Sunshine Journal and different things. I've never seen more glass chins in all my life. It's like, come on, man, suck it up, do the right thing.
That's why we need to get more youth involved with, God centered so that we can change those people up there,
We're gonna move that
replace
girl's
them.
chin. You know what I mean? You're not gonna
Yeah.
you're not gonna intimidate her. She doesn't
Nope.
have a smile on her face. That's all these people have to do is they have to do the right thing with a smile on their face.
hmm
Let righteousness shine, not this, me thing.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, that was a great show tonight, and I can't wait to have her back on so that we can find out some more of her journey and where she's going and the lives that she's changing all around her. She's just a beacon of light.
Where did Johnny go? And I agree with you. We'll see a lot in the future with her.
hmm
But
All
where
right,
did
well,
Johnny
let's.
go?
Oh, he's out. He's
Bye,
checked out.
John.
Bye, John.
Joanne,
All
thank
right.
you for
Well,
doing
thank
this and
you.
running the
Yeah,
show. Excellent
thank you for
producing.
thank you for joining us today. I knew you would love to be hosting the show today with Tessa Toman, and what a great journey it was today. And I hope that she continues to touch lives and we continue to have her on so that she can have more exposure through our show and our own influence and
Hmm.
keep we all need to be God centered, especially now.
Amen. All right, I got to go. I'll
All
talk
right. Good
to you
night.
soon. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here on the board report. And remember, every second Thursday of the month, you can go to Filthies and John Karapi. He'll be podcasting the Conspiracy Club 101 from 6 to 8 p.m. And if you stay a little later at Filthy's, you can do the karaoke. So have a good evening. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your weekend. And join us next Friday at 7 p.m. And before we go, we've got our t-shirts, the 250 Years of America celebration. Look us up at IndianRiverConnections.com so that you can get your t-shirt soon. Have a great evening.